It's now an honor to call upon Pastor Jim Tolle, a senior pastor of the El Camino Church.
Shalom. Proverbs 14 says these words, "The righteous has hope even in their death." I have hope that I will see my friend Shimon once again. I have hope that our Lord has embraced him. I have those hopes because of the way he lived his life. I bring you greetings from a Hispanic congregation in the San Fernando Valley of multiplied thousands that loves and loved Shimon Erem desperately and totally. On the recent day that the Consul General of Israel was with us, where we celebrated the anniversary of the liberation of Jerusalem, we were to have honored Shimon at our church as well. Unfortunately, he was not doing well physically, but nonetheless, thousands upon thousands upon thousands of people cheered our Lord, our common God, for a life that has had such great importance. Danielle, all of us want to thank you and your family for having shared Shimon with us. You're a wonderful, lifelong partner, a tremendously resilient woman who only made Shimon much, much greater. My esteemed friends, my life has been forever changed for the better by having known General Shimon Erem. For me, he was the embodiment of everything that is true about a great leader, about a hero, a person who should be followed or emulated, an example. Shimon allowed me to appreciate the beauty of Israel through his eyes. I couldn't understand the boundaries and the dimensions of the greatness of Israel. Oh, I don't mean the geographical or the physiological Israel, but I mean what I call the moral Israel, the ideal of the existence of this wonderful people and nation. He allowed me to see it through his eyes. We traveled on occasion to Israel together with groups of Christians whose eyes have forever been opened to seeing things that they never understood before and nor had ever considered. Shimon took me to places in my understanding, places where I couldn't get to myself. That is a person that you consider to be a father or a leader or a teacher or a wise man. I think for all of us in the Christian community, he's a person that allowed us to take steps into a realm that we couldn't fully understand in and of ourselves. And for that, we will always be indebted, but more importantly, will be forever for the better changed. Shimon reminds me of two characters. I mean characters in both senses of the word. In the Holy Scriptures, he reminds me of Moses. Moses was called to contend with evil during the entirety of his life. He contended with Pharaoh. He contended with the army approaching, the Egyptian army approaching the Israelites as they were backed up against the Red Sea. He contended with the Amalekites, and on and on and on. Shimon reminds me of that type of individual. Throughout the entirety of his life, he contended against evil. At every 10 years or so, there was a new evil manifesting itself that had connections to all other evils. And this man rose to the occasion. Shimon, if you knew him well, spoke with authority like Moses had. Anybody who ever heard his physiological voice knew that this man could change the topography of anything. This man had authority. You cannot presume that that authority was human-made, but the Lord had crafted that authority and deposited in him and he used it so very well. Like Moses, Shimon was a person who had clearness of vision. Deuteronomy tells us, right as the book is concluding, tells us that Moses had clarity of vision and his strength did not abate. He had that strength and clarity of vision until the very last days of his life. That is an unusual quality. Shimon also reminds me of Caleb, who along with Joshua were dispatched with 10 others to enter into Canaan land to reconnoiter or to look over. Caleb saw what others could not see, and Shimon saw what others could not see. Caleb could see the potential, could see the plan of God in everything. I believe Shimon had a type of vision, a clarity of vision like Moses, where he could see what other people couldn't see. And he was such a marvelous steward in being able to shape us and share with us those things that he would see. And Shimon was like Caleb, because when Caleb and Joshua finally got into the promised land in their old age, Caleb reminded Joshua that although he was old, he still had the vigor, and he still had the panache, he still had the capacity to even risk the idea of saying, my life still has meaning, let me go up against those giants, give me that mountain. And that he did. And that's what my dear friend Shimon did. Till his dying days, he believed that he had the strength of his youth. He believed that he would continue on, and he always asked, let me at him. Let me have a chance at the giants of our world. The prophet Zechariah stated, when the children of Israel unfortunately were in their captivity, Zechariah said, this is what the Lord of hosts says, there shall yet be old men and women dwelling in the streets of Jerusalem. That prophecy by Zechariah was seen by Shimon Erem. That prophecy was given when people were living in a foreign country and not their own country. And Shimon Erem, as an army individual and as a person of great internal strength and faith, saw it with his own eyes. The old men and women dwelling in the city of Jerusalem. This day we see the fullness of the prophet Zechariah. I want to close by saying these words. Please run the race and stay in the race till the very end, because that's what our friend Shimon did. Decide to challenge evil wherever it raises its ugly head. Don't be afraid to take on the giants. They will fall. My friend Shimon proved that to us. And continue to convince others of the rightness of our cause. Christians, and Jews working together. From Shimon, this humble pastor learned that the Christian's assignment is not finished until Israel's assignment is finished. We walk hand in hand together, and we honor this day our dear friend Shimon Erem, who just a year or so ago gave me one of his medals with which to always remember that I must stay in the race and fight the good fight. Thank you.